guys, Andy here. So every now and then I do sort of bike or car related tech, and this is very much bike related tech. Not massively related to Android, although you see in the corner there, Android compatible. It's a Sena 20S headset. I do here also have the wristband remote, but we're not really going to look at that. To be honest, I sold that. I didn't find it that useful. First of all, we'll go through the box contents. This is the dual pack. And you're going to be looking at kind of, I think, in the region of £350 for the dual pack. Individually, they're around 200. Obviously, these prices are going to vary from time to time. But the dual pack, if you've got a mate, is the way to go. You can just give him, basically, you get two of everything, and it's intended for like you and a pillion, but there's no reason you can't give it your mate and he uses it independently of you. You saw there while I was blubbering on that it's a micro USB charging point, which is quite handy. There's an aerial. This is the actual main unit that's going to clip on the side of your head. This is the unit that clips to the helmet case, and initially it's got like a boom mic for open face helmets, but there are different attachments. There are lots of attachments in the box, which we'll see shortly. The unit clips onto the mount quite simply, and there's a silver button at the base there. I've not really tried taking it off while the helmet's on, to be honest, but it's not that easy, but it's not particularly hard to remove. There is an aux socket on the one side here, and actually on the flip side, I don't think I showed it at this point, but there is a headphone socket as well, so you can plug in your own earphones to the Sena. These are the speakers that come with it. We'll talk more about them later. If we dive into the box itself, so some microphone foamy bits to cut out the wind, which actually make quite a big difference. I lost mine, or it broke or whatever, and I was getting a lot of complaints with the wind noise. That's the microphone I think I switched to. We've got some spacers, very important. I highly recommend using the spacers to move the headphones closer to your ears in the helmet. There's another micro USB cable. That's to help you basically attach it to the helmet. Spare boom mic, I think. I don't quite know why there's spares. There's already ones on the units. Spare audio cables. There's all sorts. You can see, there's loads of 3M pads, loads of Velcro. You're not really left short of anything. So that is the unit really that we need to play with. As I say, it's got the boom mic attached to this point, but I'll swap that over. Then the Sena Utility App is the direction you want to go next. It installs actually very quickly. It's only a small app, but then we need to get paired up, basically. I don't know, every time you install it, it asks for your profile, your email. I don't know why it wants your email address. You're not setting up an account or anything. So to turn it on, it's a 2-button press. The back, I think they call it the phone button, and the jog dial button, well, the big silver button in the middle. And then to pair, you hold down the phone button. I think it's for 6 seconds. You see there, obviously, flashing like mad means it's ready to be paired, and it appears on my Pixel XL. And before you know it, we're connected up, good to go. So then it's about installing the app on your computer. I find it a little disappointing you can't update the headset from the phone. It's a bit of a nag that you've got to connect up to your PC to update the firmware. Having said that, it's relatively simple using the Sena software. Just follow the instructions through with it plugged into your PC, turn it on and off when it says. As you can see here, the image file is only like 3 meg, I think. Or you might see, I think I'll show it at some point. So really why that can't be transmitted over Bluetooth from your phone to the headset, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, as I say, it's a relatively simple procedure to get up to date. And there's already been 2 updates. So I've had the device since about October last year. So we're talking 5 or 6 months. There's been 2 updates, quite useful updates actually as well. I'll talk about why later on. So we then have a look in the app, and you can see the settings. Now these are the same settings that are in the phone app. So because I was thinking I need to show you the phone app, but actually you can see the different options here. Make sure you've enabled 8-way intercom, although 8-way was quite tricky. We couldn't seem to get it past 4, but there is a video from Sena where the guy shows you using 5. You do need to use the app for that. You add in your buddies and basically make a group, and just one person says, right, create the group, and it will connect all of the headsets in, which is quite clever. There are more instructions on the Sena website about pairing. It does get a little bit complicated, a little bit confusing. The interesting one, if you're just doing sort of simple pairing up, it kind of daisy chains. So person A, I think we'll come to the instruction at some point on this site here. Person A connects to person B connects to person C, C to D. Now the problem is, if you're not riding in that order and person D is behind person A, then it's person B and person C is at the back, and person C gets left behind. When they get disconnected, person D gets disconnected because D is connected to A and B through C and through B, if that makes sense. There, I know you can't click it, but there's the link to the YouTube video if you actually wanted to type in the QWQXE. That explains how the group pairing works. But it is great fun to be riding along, chatting with 3-4 other. Well, we only ever got 4 in total. Other people. It makes such a difference, to be honest, on a ride out. I can't almost imagine doing a ride out without using the Sena headset now. So time to head out on the bike with the headset. Obviously, once you've paired, just turning it on means it will connect into your phone automatically. You'll then need to figure out how you're going to get it to play things. So I've got a little Bluetooth remote on my handlebars actually that lets me play, pause, skip and stuff. But you can do almost all of this from the headset itself. The most simple control is the volume. It's a nice big easily found wheel. Turning it one way reduces, turning the other increases the volume. And that's generally probably the extent of my usage of the buttons when I'm riding, to be fair. It's not that it's that complicated. They've done a really good job of getting a lot of different commands out of only really sort of 3 different buttons. The button underneath is the ambient mode button. The button on the back, the black one that you see in the picture there, is the phone button, and then the silver jog wheel button. By either double pressing or holding, you get various different sort of controls. So, for example, if you hold the phone button at the back, it turns the radio on. You double press it to scan through the stations. You can double tap the phone button for speed dial. And I think you can say like speed dial 1. You can give a voice command. Voice commands, so in theory you can double tap the front of the unit, kind of where the light is flashing, and then give voice commands. I just can't get that to work very well. Well, I'm not sure I'll get it to work at all, to be honest. But you can do voice commands just by giving a single press of the ambient button, which is the one underneath, and then say your voice command. There's a few different commands like speed dials and radio on or music and things like that. A single press of the phone button should allow you to talk to Siri or the Google Assistant. So I should be able to press it and say, okay, Google, and I can hear it go bonk. But then when I try and give a command, it says, I'm sorry, if you said to me, I can't hear what you're saying. So I'm not, and you do have to, on Android, you have to go into the sort of Google Now settings and tell it to use the Bluetooth microphone where available. But even then, it didn't seem to work too well. And unfortunately, that might be an Android thing, because my friend on iPhone uses Siri all the time to call people. Just press the button, and I don't know, hey Siri, call blah blah blah, and it will ring them. And I get phone calls from him sometimes. He's riding around, and he just uses the headset to be able to make the call. I suppose I'll take this opportunity to talk about the call quality. Quite frankly, it's amazing. When we first paired them up, me and my mate Tom, I rang him. He left 30 seconds ago, and I thought, right, I'm going to ring him, see what happens. So I dialed his number, his mobile, and he answered. And honest to God, I would have thought he was sat on his couch at home. If I didn't know, he must, he was still riding his bike. It was so clear. I think they can. So I think there must be a mic on the outside of the unit, and it uses that for noise cancellation. And it really is so clear. I've taken a few calls now, one with earphones plugged into the unit, and one with the speakers in the helmet. And actually, it's fine. I was able to conduct conversation with no problems at all. So onto some of the other features. There's an ambient mode, so by double pressing the ambient button underneath, the external microphone basically turns on and pipes anything going on outside through into your headset, which actually it didn't used to work when I first got it. It was rubbish, it just didn't work at all. And then the most recent update, it started working again. I was really surprised when I just kind of turned it on the off chance, I suppose. I use it in some ways just to stop the music playing, and I turned it on, and actually I was able to talk to the person that I was stood next to, sort of thing. So I was putting my bike away. When it worked really, really well. The range on the unit, now we've seen it's got a little aerial. I can't honestly say that if I think the aerial makes any difference or not. I find that the range is probably close to about 100 meters than what I think it claims. I don't know, I forget what they claim, but I find about 100 meters before you're likely to start losing whoever's in your connection chain. They will automatically reconnect when they get back in range, though. The battery, I really pushed it. For me, it lasts for weeks. I mean, I don't do a lot of riding, but it did last me for 3 or 4 weeks. I had a long day out where I was using it for at least 4 or 5 hours on the day out, if not more. So I would guess it works for about 8 to 10 hours. And then obviously you can charge it overnight. So really, I would say that's sufficient for anyone that's out riding for long periods, even week-long holidays. You can use it and charge it at the same time as well. So the micro USB port is around the back there, and you can sort of have a long cable running around down to your pocket with a portable battery and be charging it while you use it, which is very handy. There's a second app you can use for voice comms over phone data. So in theory, you can be commuting and chatting with someone commuting like 100 miles away. Haven't really tried that, haven't really got it. Well, you just haven't tried it, to be honest, but it is an option there. There's also an add-on unit. If you've got a GoPro and you fancy yourself a bit of a vlogger, for around £100, you can buy this add-on unit that connects into the GoPro, and basically any audio that goes through the unit gets recorded. So your voice and other people's voices all gets recorded. So to me, that's a great idea if you are a vlogger, and I think it sounds fantastic. It really does. What else? Now, I did have a few problems. So I tried to connect multiple things. So obviously you have your phone connected to it and you connect to other users. But when I connected in my sat nav, it really started causing problems. Music was all crackly and broken up. And basically I had to reset my sat nav to unpair it, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, that didn't work out too well for me. And also the sat-nav commands interrupt the connection to the other rider, it seemed. So when the sat-nav started talking, it literally cut off the other rider. Again, maybe it can only really have 2 different things connected to it at once. I'm not sure. But that was a bit of an issue. But overall, I think it's a fantastic unit. I have tried, I mean, to be honest, not for 3 or 4 years. When I first started biking, I tried a lot of these different Bluetooth headset units. And they generally, I didn't probably pay more than about £100 for any of them, but they weren't particularly effective or reliable. And the Sena, that's what you're getting. You're going to pay a lot more than you might have thought you should, but you're getting a reliable unit that works really well, that sounds really good. And I love it because I don't have to worry about sort of plugging my earphones into my phone, or even if you're using Bluetooth earphones, I literally pop the helmet on, turn it on, press play on my phone, and we're done, really. Use the spacers is my advice as well. So initially when I put the earphones into the helmet, they didn't sound all that great. It was sufficient and I could hear people and carry out conversations. But when you put the spacers in and move the speakers that bit closer to your ear, it makes such a difference to the sound quality. There's bass there. There's even bass. I find it really quite impressive. So there you go. Those are my thoughts, and I would highly recommend the Sena 20S to any bikers out there. They are quite a sort of a popular unit, so me and quite a lot of my mates have them. And there's a reasonable chance you go on a ride out and someone else will have the Sena unit, and you can just connect in and chat with them. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.